Field getting set to move off of pit road here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at our starting grid. Making only his 8th start here in 2008, Jamie McMurray picks up his 2nd pole of the year. And while you watch to see where your favorite driver is starting, let's visit with our in-race reporter, Jeff Burton, driver of the Holiday Inn Chevrolet, who starts 2nd tonight.
Hey, Jeff, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy? Hey, Jeff, great qualifying effort, but can you explain to our viewers just how difficult it is to set a car up to race at night when you practice during the day and you have the high speeds we have at this track?
This place is probably with maybe the exception of Indy, it changes more than anywhere else, and it's really hard at daytime, real slick racetrack. At night, you get a ton of grip. The car wants to travel more, get more load on the front tires. Just a lot of stuff happens, so it's real hard to get it good in the day and then be good at night. But fortunately, we had a practice this morning, and it was cold, overcast, so I think that was a meaningful practice.
All right, Jeff, our second question comes from our ESPN mailbag, and one of your fans, Jamie in Davis, California, would like to know, being 4th in chase points, what made you decide to run this race tonight? Jeff, our second question comes from our ESPN mailbag, and Jamie in Davis, California would like to know, being 4th in chase points, what made you decide to run this race tonight?
We're going to continue doing it because it's fun. So that's why we do it. It's, to be honest, it's just, boys having fun.
We got you. Thanks a lot. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later on. Now, Andy's going to talk with your crew chief, Pat Smith.
Hey, Pat, Andy Petrie up here in the booth. Have you got us?
I got you, Andy.
Hey, Pat, it seems like this track and tire combination works extremely well. What's going to be the winning strategy at the end of this thing tonight?
We'll have to play it by ear. Goodyear's brought a really good tire here. It goes a long ways. We chose to put on tires in the first race here, and we kind of got beat by that, but we'll play it by ear here.
Okay, Pat, you guys have a good luck, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, Andy.
Jeff Burton won this race here 1 year ago, and Pat Smith made some critical calls late in that one to get him to victory lane. Well, racing is difficult here, but some of the guys have had a tough day, and we haven't even raced yet. Early in the day, the 32 car, former series champion Brian Vickers had issues. Mike?
Well, Doc, when crew chief Trent Owens thinks of the Lowe's Motor Speedway, one race comes to mind. That's October 2006. That's when he crew chief Dave Blaney to his only victory here. It was his only victory as a crew chief as well. But bear in mind, that was Friday the 13th. And Trent Owens says it was a night when he used up all his luck. And that proved to be true here today. On the first lap of qualifying, as you just saw, Brian Vickers smack the wall. He's in a backup car with a completely changed setup, hoping to make his way from the back to the front tonight. But Owens says he's not sure what to expect, Dave.
Mike, last week at the Talladega Sprint Cup Series race, Denny Hamlin was involved in a grinding crash. That did a couple of things. It forced him to spend an overnight at a local hospital for observation. It dropped him to 12th in the Sprint Cup Series chase for the for the Sprint Cup. But it also caused him to reconsider his commitment to Braun Racing to run a Camry here tonight for them, a second Dollar General car for tonight's race sponsor. They decided not to do it. They put veteran Dave Blaney in the car, who's not been in a nationwide car since Homestead last year. Now, some things have changed since then, including the tapered spacer, which reduces horsepower. I asked Dave how he felt about the racing. He said, I expected it to be different, but I've adapted to it. What the heck? He's a pro. Shannon?
Well, Dave, Casey Kane starting this race 33rd tonight. The team told me they did not make a qualifying run in practice session. The car was a little tight, and they really needed to work on race trim. But despite that 33rd starting position, the team has all the confidence in the world in their driver. With 3 Cup wins and 1 nationwide win here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, they know they have the driver who can win a race here. They told me all we have to do is get that car right, and we've got a chance. Jamie Little?
Well, Shannon, points leader Clint Boyer off to a pretty good start today. He qualified 5th. That's the best he's ever done here at Charlotte. But this happens to be a pretty good racetrack for him. He's had 4 top 10s in a row. Never a win, but this race 1 year ago, he spun while leading. I talked to crew chief Dan Deeringhoff. He said they're pretty optimistic about tonight. They had a great car last year. They brought that same car back, and their driver, he's pretty hungry for a win tonight. Doc?
He should do well. Pretty excited when I talked to him earlier in the weekend. Now, we will be riding along with 8 different cars. They'll be carrying onboard cameras. We watch the action throughout this 1.5 mile 24-degree bank tri-oval here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. We will go over the wall with David Ruderman's jackman, Mitch Lash. And there's no place like home. That's what Dorothy said in The Wizard of Oz, right?
Everybody glad to be home. Racing here in Charlotte is a home game for most of these teams.
Yeah, they like that, and they get excited to be. They got friends and family all here watching them, too.
Problem is everybody wants to protect the home turf, and that's why it gets so crazy here. Our race analysis, it is a 300-mile, 200-lap race. There's the pit road speed, the pit window. That's what can be a little iffy here.
Yeah, we got it pretty big here because there'll be some different guys that can get better mileage than others, and we still don't know what the winning strategy is. I tried to get it out of Pat Smith, but he just wouldn't quite come out with it.
Guys, what about some sleepers tonight? Some guys that can step up and pull this win off. DJ?
Yeah, we talked a lot about David Reagan this year, and I think this might be an opportunity for him to get to victory lane. He's still looking for that first victory in the Nationwide Series, and I think this could come tonight for him.
Another David is the guy I'm picking, David Stremme. He didn't qualify good. He's back there in the back, about 32nd spot, but he's got a good car. He was great in practice, and I'm looking for this red 64 to start driving to the front.
It is hard to believe that David Stremme, as good as he has been in the NASCAR Nationwide Series car, has never won one of these races. He's finished second 3 times, twice this year driving the Rusty Wallace Incorporated cars, and of course he goes next year full-time in the Penske Dodge for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Front row, the 17 car. By the way, for you trivia buffs, the 17 car started on the front row the last 5 races here in a row. 4 times with Matt Kenseth, and tonight with Jamie McMurray.
I'm going to see if they'll let me drive that thing next year if it's going to start up front all the time.
You're done. You're staying with us.
That's right. Yeah. These first laps are going to be exciting, though. These guys are going to be double wide, and we talked about how you have to really be careful getting loose into the corner.
Jamie McMurray on the inside, Jeff Burton on the outside. Fans on their feet at Lowe's Motor Speedway under the lights for the NASCAR Nationwide Series cars. They come down to take the green flag. McMurray has the advantage. They are side by side still for second place. Burton now gets a half a car length in the high group.
Yeah, makes a nice little run off there on outside of Carl Edwards, who ducks into the 3rd spot now. A lot of single file now. I think these guys understand that too. Started this race, how treacherous it can be.
There's one guy that doesn't probably know much about how treacherous. Here we go. Got a spin already.
40 car, Brian Clausen.
Yellow's out behind you, turn 2.
That's the rookie driver for Felix Sabates and Chip Ganassi.
Light damage, left rear. See if you get it going, Brian.
Thought these guys were going to settle down here and get going.
Left side.
I didn't see. We can see on the replay. You know, we talked about in qualifying how this car was bottoming out, and now they've got low air pressure in the tires. Be interesting to see if that's what happened here.
Yeah, you see sparks. Absolutely flying out of this car, getting in the corner. Brian Clausen loses control there and gets in the wall. He's got more than just a little damage there, too.
Not been a good weekend for Brian. He was due to make his Cup Series debut, and it rained out qualifying. He had to put that on hold, and now in lap 1 of the Nationwide race, he is the reason for the yellow flag. We said it gets crazy here in a hurry. We thought we'd get a whole lap in, but that was not the case under caution here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, 19-year-old Brian Clausen has had a tough day. Lap 1 and couldn't get through the complete lap, and that car looped around and popped the wall. And earlier today, Brad Daugherty, you were down there, you talked with Brian. What did he have to say about what he thought was going to happen tonight?
Yeah, Doc, I hung out with Brian, and we were talking about him missing his opportunity for a Cup start, but about this race car, he just said the race car was so loose, he just could not drive it. He was very, very afraid that this would happen, that he would get in the wall one way or another, and he sure did.
They're going to try to work and get him back out. While they work, let's listen in to the radio for Joey Logano.
Started in the wrong gear on that start.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what happened.
Yeah. It was going to work. I was going to start in first gear, and then they picked up the pace, and I kept it in first gear. Probably should have started second. But I learned.
you're ready for all the rest of them.
Hard to make that first gear restart work, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. You always have to make that decision. But, yeah, that's starting in first. You have to really be careful. You don't want to over-rev the engine either as you guys pick up speed. So, as he said, he learned.
Getting set for the green here, guys. McMurray's going to lead him down, Burton Edwards. By the way, Kyle Busch in one lap has gone from 16th to 12th. He gained 4 spots in half a lap, I should say, under the green. And here we come down. See if we can get some green flag racing in. Watch Clint Boyer back there on the right side of your screen. See if he can make a move underneath the 20 car of Logano. Here he comes.
You called that one, Doc. He's got a good run there on Joey Logano.
He must have seen that first restart, too. See Boyer on the inside there. Jeff Burton, a good restart right on the bumper. Jamie McMurray. But Clint Boyer not able to make that pass there. So he's going to lose a spot also to Kevin Harvick. Well, it looks like he is.
And Dave Blaney will also try to come by on the outside and take another spot away. Blaney in the 10 car. That was to be driven by Denny Hamlin tonight.
Oh, trouble off of 4.
Got a car sliding through the grass.
31 car, and he took...
Yellow and 4.
That is Jeff Green, the former series champion, and lots of...
right there. There you go, man. Come on.
Lots of mud and grass up on the racetrack. He was sideways coming off the
flat.
Yeah, I think he might have got a little bit of help there. They were all jammed up coming out of that corner. Could have possibly got hit.
Like all the tires are up. Sure did mess up the grass, though. Boy, it was so pretty.
Wow.
And he took the commitment cone down to middle of the front straightaway.
See these guys here.
Well,
Mike Bliss.
They were jammed up.
He might have got just in the back of him there. Jeff wasn't going as fast as Mike Bliss and Brad Keselowski were wanting to. Messed up the logo there in the infield. It's probably the least of his concern.
Get outside, outside, outside. One more outside.
Yeah.
Clear.
You could see.
There's almost something wrong with Jeff Green.
Yeah,
he
you
didn't
can
go
see
at
he's
all.
really struggling.
You could hear Mike Bliss getting in and out of the throttle like, okay, when you going, when you going? And it just never did get going.
Was he trying to get down pit road? You think Jeff was trying to make that turn like he was wobbling, like he was, or did they just hit him and he turned that way?
Yeah, I don't know. He was really struggling for sure there. Mike Bliss was doing everything he could to stay off of his bumper, and it finally got to the point that, you know, he just couldn't get out of the throttle enough.
So 2 laps under green and 2 caution flags.
So it's going to be a while.
Lots of cleanup because of the mud and grass up on the racetrack there because of the heavy rains here yesterday, last night, and a good bit of the morning. Under caution for the second time here on lap number 7. Back in a moment.